so kind of makes sense from that perspective, I guess.
IGV now looking towards that mid lane with the Tinker as well as that Ember banned out. IG in return. I mean, the Juggernaut as well. I've not managed to catch too many of IGV's game. Is this for sure fire necessarily going to be in the safe lane or the mid lane, or do Chinese teams, do they have the flexibility to do it in both?
They've been doing both, but
Yeah.
more so the safe lane. They
Okay.
just like to do pretty standard, get the Helm of the Dominator, and then play in the safe lane. But IGV has done both. They've run it with a Terrorblade in this qualifier. They've run it with a Morphling, so they have run it mid, but they've also had games where they picked like an OD and did the Jug safe lane. So I think they like picking it early. That's partly why, because it can be flexible. Like they can wait to see what the draft is, decide whether Jug's got a good matchup, and then send Jug in the mid lane if he can go there, or send him to the safe lane if he needs an easier lane.
The bat being banned out, and again, no surprises really there. A lot of very strong bat players in the Chinese region, and IGV, they certainly have one of those under their belt as well. I believe it's in July, the bat player. Oh, no,
yeah, in July.
It's in July,
right.
isn't it? Yeah, but that's one of his. I want to say that's one of his best offlane heroes, and already we're seeing, obviously with the Nyx Assassin as well, a couple of them taken out from IGV, and with IG obviously getting their hands on the Centaur first, the favourable offlaners are starting to be whittled down. Big one's still there. What are you kind of looking at? Well, Darkseer is still in the mix. Anything else that kind of screams out to you that IGV might want to get their hands on?
Yeah, Darkseer looks like the maybe best option. I guess the other options are like ones that you don't see. Clockwork, dare I say, like Tidehunter or something, but I think Darkseer is the best for some of the kind of synergies and combos you can run it with in the 4 position. Like a Darkseer Earth Spirit could be great. Darkseer Pudge can be great. Dogfights loves to play these aggressive roaming heroes. His Pudge has been fantastic on a few different occasions. Earth Spirit's another hero of his that can be very good. So I like the idea of getting like a Darkseer with the Earth Spirit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that combo's going to be fantastic if they can get their hands on it, and almost certainly very likely if they do want to, as IG.
Spirit.
Certainly not going to be picking it up themselves. Presenter already for their offlane. Venge will be the pickup. Fantastic if they can. Now we'll see if their hands on it. Do you want to go for that Darkseer? Almost certainly very likely.
Yeah, Venge is kind of. I mean, it's nice to pick just like as a support, but also kind of you never know like where it's actually going to go. It could be Burning playing it in a carry role if they want to run the low mid. There's the Darkseer, so as you kind of mentioned, probably the best offlaner left, and no reason not to pick it now that the Earth Spirit's there. Good combo. So we'll see what IG do, whether the Venge is going to be a core or a support. It does give them a good save, and the Lone Druid is kind of that flexible hero that can go mid or into the safe lane.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. I mean, do you think that's the most likely then, that it will be the Lone Druid mid and the Venge safe? I mean, are the Chinese teams doing Venge still in the support position, or are they more oriented towards having it as the core, like in most of the other regions really at the moment?
I've seen both. Just like in the recent games, IGV were running it in a carry role, but Burning also has been running it a bit in the carry role. But there we go. It's a support Venge. They're going for like a lot of minus armor now. They get the SF with the Venge. Can amp up the physical damage of the SF, the Lone Druid, and a very kind of heavy physical damage draft coming out from Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, and with that SF picked up, as you mentioned, IGV, they could put the Jug in the mid or the safe lane. Do you want to take the Jug away from that Shadow Fiend matchup, or do you want to give in that matchup and take something else in your safe lane, do you think? Now you've seen the
Depends on how they want to play the Earth. It's not like a... It's a matchup that if you want to put Jug mid, you're going to like dedicate the Earth Spirit to helping him.
Yeah.
Just because you want to beat the Shadow Fiend to level 1. You want to try and delay him getting his early souls. If he gets souls against Jug won't be able to farm well. So if you're going to run Jug mid, you have to have the Earth Spirit there from like level 1 to really help out the lane to make it manageable. I think the safer option is just picking some kind of mid laner that matches up a bit better. Get like a TA or a sniper or something, and just run the Jug in the safe lane.
And let's see what IG themselves are most worried about. Vitality grabbing. Final ban. Are they indeed going to ban away one of those mid lane heroes that could get the upper hand against the Shadow Fiend?
I'm trying to think what IGV have been taking a look back what they've been running. They did run the OD. They ran the sniper before themselves as well, which to me is one of the better matchups against Shadow Fiend, and also like just the typical hero to pick against Lone Druid. Fight the new sniper with the old sniper, so it's definitely a possibility. Invoker's always something IGV have liked to run and played a lot of, so that's the other kind of hero I'd maybe look at. What do they ban sniper? Here we go.
Yeah, bang on. And I think, as you bet, yeah, Invoker could be really nice for Vitality. Something else to follow through. At the moment, they've got the Dark Zero Spirit combination, which is nice, but other than that, in terms of AoE follow-up, there's not really huge amounts. I mean, yeah, you got Blade Fury, but later on, an Invoker could be it could be perfect for Vitality, surely.
Yeah, their team fight's pretty lackluster. That's where I think like a TA type hero wouldn't be that good for them, just because like TA Jug with this like Rubik Earth, like Dark Zero is decent for team fight, and Dark Zero Spirit have some good synergy where you can vacuum into like the Boulder Smash, but Jug TA follow-up doesn't really scream team fight to me at all. Not saying you have to have a huge team fight, but I think at least having some ability to match up to IG with the Centaur, Shadow Fiend, and whatever this fourth pick is, which is likely going to be some kind of fourth position playmaking hero, team fight hero. Doom was banned, but yeah, I think the team fight invokers, the OD maybe is like a nice kind of middle ground between carry and team fight as well.
IG themselves
10 seconds remaining.
looking for that second support, and not all the time I really see kind of the support picked left till the last one, and it's going to be the Undying picked up. And does that start to give you a bit of an idea on the lanes of IG? I mean, where's this Undying going to go? Is it going to be some kind of aggressive formation?
Yeah, I mean, with all the games going on, I haven't like closely been able to see their games to know whether they're doing these like dual lanes. Undying Centaur makes perfect sense if they want to do that. If they're worried about the Lone Druid getting pressured, though, they can send the Undying there. But most of the time, you're picking Lone Druid because he doesn't need a ton of support. Typically, Lone Druid in the safe lane gets away with just one support helping him zone an offlaner. He's very good at last hitting by himself because he's got the Spirit Bear. So I imagine Undying's going to be more free to roam. Level 1, I think again, a lot goes back to the Shadow Fiend's level 1. You want to make sure he gets souls. So I think much like IGV want to stop him getting souls at level 1, IG want to try and secure them. And that's where a hero like Undying is likely going to be mid lane, throwing some decays to get SF that fast early souls.
And Vitality, pretty much as we expected, get that Invoker as the final pick. So, I mean, Vitality's lineup seems... It seems almost like what they wanted to have from the Earth Spirit off. You know, we saw the Darkseid and the Invoker being available, and IG decided to target elsewhere with the bans. So I think Vitality is going to be quite happy with what they have. IG themselves, with this Undying, it'll be interesting to see how much they can get done with it. But of course, they do have that, as you mentioned, very strong opening Centaur and Lone Druid, as you mentioned as well. Just two of the strongest heroes in the patch, kind of across all regions. So they've certainly got the strength there with the cause.
I mean, for me, it's like I look at these drafts and I'm like, oh, they got Centaur and Druid for their draft. But I mean, these teams prioritizing slightly different things. They're looking at Rubik as one of the top supports to have. Jug as like a really flexible carry. And I think IGV overall are not going to be... I mean, they give away Centaur Lone Druid because they think they can beat it. So we'll see if that's going to be the case as the early moves come out between the two teams, and we'll see how well the Shadow Fiend can match up against the Invoker, getting those early souls.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much help he gets in the mid lane. As you mentioned, the Undying Q can certainly get a bit aggressive around the map. He doesn't necessarily have to sit in one of the lanes or another. We may even see him come to the mid just to try and secure those early CS for the SF for OP. Make sure that he has that start against the Invoker.
Yep. Early wards being plopped down, nothing too crazy. See if Bernie can actually get his safe lane bounty rune. There's potential pressure coming in with Darkseer and Earth Spirit up there, but it looks like they're not going to head across the river to where Burning was. Radiant Sentry did block the camp. Interesting that they blocked their camp themselves when they're the ones with the Darkseer. Suggests they are expecting Darkseer to get zoned out and fall back to the jungle, because typically you wouldn't want to block that camp when you've got a Darkseer playing the offlane role.
Let's see if... we're not going to see the classic kind of Lone Druid trying to pick up both of the runes, as he will keep the bear to himself here.
The battle begins.
No one's
Centaur actually taking the rune. Huh. He's going to get a Stout Shield off of this, so... Having a Stout Shield and Iron Talon at level 1 for your jungle, definitely not bad. Although... Okay, so he didn't buy Tengos. He just, he saved the money to get that Stout Shield, so... He's going to like try and power jungle, completely abandon bottom lane.
I mean, that is... Does he just have to do this against the Jug Rubik, or is it just because you can farm that quicker in the jungle by just abandoning abandoning the lane.
It's much more the latter, where he's just going to farm much by abandoning the lane. You don't have to do it, of course, but he's not going to get much farm. You're forced to go like a poor man's shield build just to try and hold your own in that off.
Of course, this is going to mean that Cicada gets an absolute free time. Super as well is going to be able to make the pulls and get a lot out of the lane.
Yeah. Let's see how... Top should go pretty well. You're looking at dual lane with the Undying mid. The second he sees the Undying mid, Darkseid should know he's not going to get too much pressure. But I think he's also going to be like, man, why did I block this side pull? He should theoretically want to be like double iron shelling the wave, pushing it out, and then using the side pull himself to deny XP and get some additional farm for himself. So I think there'll be some regrets about that pull camp block. But even so, for now, things going okay for him until potentially the Undying could show up to us. There's maybe a kill threat with the Undying there, if they get like a Savage Roar in the mix as well.
Yeah, especially if they can catch him kind of post-surge. And at the moment, keeping the pressure on. CS for both safe laners is going to be pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, Jug shouldn't be missing a CS at this point.
Absolutely not.
Lone Druid isn't really CSing all that well. Had to last hit on the tower, I guess, somewhat because of the Iron Shell, but still with the Spirit Bay, you'd expect a little bit better, perhaps just got a little bit off with some of the CS. Mid lane OP has secured at least his early souls. He's got 5 of them. Losing slightly in CS to the Invoker, but once you get those early souls, now he's got levels, so he's got points in raise. He should be able to do just fine. Undying's probably being told, like, all right, this lane's kind of secured. You can go elsewhere now. Go grab some runes. Go help out. Leech bottom lane XP. Help out top. Go do something else. He's probably being told by Shadow Fiend.
And I guess the thing is as well for IG with high in the jungle, there's not really any way that IG Vitality can contest it, so they don't really have the... I mean, I guess they do have this Earth Spirit to move around, but it's the center at the end of the day, and he's already got himself... Well, it's going to be level 3 after this creep. It's a hard hero to do anything about when he's going into the jungle.
Did Pig find an Invis rune? So interesting, Dogfights didn't try and find the Centaur on low HP with an Invis rune. It's one of the definitely better runes to get when your opponents have a jungling hero. But looks like he's only going to roam in a little bit later. Looking for a kill up top, though, onto the Venge.
Baroque's trying to hold back Dogfights here with the Magic Missile, with the Surge and the Iron Shell run down. It'll actually be mid lane where the first blood's going to be got by Q, but IGV, they will get 1 kill in return. But obviously overall, the bigger kill going the way of IG as they take down Invoker. They're still going to chase down for more though, Vitality. Really trying to find the better trade. They're trying to go on high. The Sunstrike comes through. It's not going to be enough damage. He keeps himself safe. Q's come in with a rotation as well as Burning and Borax moving across for more. They'll look towards Dogfights. They'll get themselves a second. At the end of the day, it'll be Invictus Gaming having the happier time as IGV desperate to try and find something. They did get at least that 1 kill, but couldn't get themselves out of there.
I mean, that's very effective early game from the Undying. First securing the souls on SF, then he makes a nice little gank rotation, gets a kill. SF getting jumped on again, but with the media, this could be close to a kill. OP is going to go down.
Oh, pops the Fairy Fires, keeps himself alive just long enough, finally goes down. There's Fairy Fires.
The Undying.
Yeah, and the clap from Q. Keeping him up.
Q is just, he's everywhere. He comes mid, gets the first blood, heads up top, gets the return kill for the dive, and he comes back mid again. He's being very effective here. The push is finally coming bottom. ITV's like, alright, if you're not going to jungle, we're going to push your tower. But the second they go to push the tower, Centaur's TP'd in. He's taking that XP. That was like 2 range creeps, quite a few melee creeps. There's going to be a siege creep in there as well. He makes sure he gets the wave off the tower. He hits level 5, so this Centaur, nice and farmed, and also got a good chunk of experience as an offlaner right now. He's well ahead of where the Darkseid is in terms of farm and levels.
Yeah, for sure. We saw Angel
mid lane.
Are they going to get away with it this time? They certainly are. No backup comes in from IG this time. As Dogfights and Paparazzi get the second kill on the Shadow Fiend. So starting to get a revenge for giving away that first blood on the Invoker now as they hit back hard.
See, they can do a bit more damage this time to the tower. Sakata's trying to push it out once more. Centaur's got his Ringer health rate. He's not even going for boots. This is like the greediest offlane Centaur build I've ever seen. It's actually kind of cool to see a different way of playing the Centaur. I've seen it so much in the other regions, and it's just always like mostly the same stuff. This is like a super greedy, jungling, straight hood Centaur build that is completely new to me, at least as far as the competitive scene goes, and liking it so far. It's definitely. I mean, he's gotten more than a Darkseer has. He's gotten a lot of farm. He's gotten a lot of levels. His tower hasn't fallen, so typically the enemy safe lane is going to free farm anyways if 2v1. So it hasn't really meant Jug has farmed a ton more just because he's gone for this greedier approach.
And as you mentioned, this Darkseer in July, he's got a lot of catching up to do when it comes down to the CS. I think it was because of the movements he and Dogfights have been trying to make in the jungle, trying to find someone, and this time they are going to get OP, and with the Sunstrike as well connecting, that's a clean kill for IGV. The question is if Dogfights can get himself out. Q will drop the tombstone, but Dogfights just quickly walks off. He'll have roll again in a second. Does have the rocks, but they'll pop the Stampede, make sure that they can close the gap for the Magic Missile, and they will take down Dogfights. But at the end of the day, it's once again the Shadow Fiend going down. He's died 3 times so far in the first 6 minutes.
Ooh, Omni Slash into Blade Fury. They want to kill this Centaur. He's got no boots. This is where you wish you had him. And unfortunately for him, the Blade Fury damage was just enough. He tried to stomp as it ended, but he did die to the Blade Fury. 2 Omni Slash of the hit him out of the 3 next to a creep wave. It wasn't really terrible luck, but he also didn't exactly get lucky as well.
Yeah, so overall, in this laning stage, it feels the vitality other ones coming out with the edge, wouldn't you say? Was Sakata getting this free lane, getting the kill on the Centaur. Mid lane, Paparazzi coming out on top of this Shadow Fiend, as Shadow Fiend consistently being hunted down by IGV. It's just kind of the off laners, as you mentioned.
Another roll in bottom.
Are they going to get away with it again? Q, can he survive this? The Blade Fury for Sakata is going to certainly mean that he can't, as another kill for the Jug.
That's really been the difference maker for this early game. Has been the Sunstrikes. They've been able to find kills in the enemy jungle in the SF, and the end result is that this Invoker is winning his mid lane by quite a lot of gold. OP's being hunted wherever he goes on the SF, and this bottom lane they're able to find these additional kills as well, thanks to those Sunstrikes coming in. So the tower goes down. It is denied, but ultimately it's the objective claim for IGV, and they won't be too bummed that it gets denied. They'll probably have the Juggernaut even start thinking about rotating towards top. With some of his teammates to go for a bit of a push up there now and start pressuring the lone druid.
And look at the gods! I can't say I've seen this in a while or wherever ever really. Sakata phase boots, and then he's got it queued up straight into Shadow Blade.
Yeah, something definitely different. I mean, this is a build that they used to be fairly common on Jug.
Yeah.
But hasn't been seen in quite some time. Going for the Shadow Blade rush does give him a lot of solo kill potential, which is the main thing that he's looking for out of the item. He can just roam around, be somewhat independent. Doesn't necessarily slow down your farm either, because the item does give you attack speed, damage, and all that. So, it's not a bad farming item. And yeah, we'll see how IG prepared for this. Whether or not they have solutions for it. The Hood on Centaur's not going to help against a Shadow Blading in Juggernaut. So yeah, why not? It's not just the Shadow Blade, it's the full.
Yeah, he's got the full Silver Edge looking at, isn't it? I mean, if he, as you mentioned, you know, that again is going to help even more at taking down the Centaur. Intriguing opening item queued up from Sakata. We'll see if he changes his mind. A lot of times we see pros queue stuff up and then switch it around.
Roll in bottom.
Can they have the damage to kill him? That's the question. They've got the follow-up telekinesis into the Sunstrike Boulder Smash. Stampede comes out. High comes back in for the Who Stomp, but the Blade Fury for Sakata bringing down the Centaur low. He'll continue to chase. Does have the Omni Slash as well and just uses it to jump in. Gets the kill. Sakata could be in trouble though. OP surrounding him in the jungle. Sakata's going to try and hide, but he can't make it out with the creeps revealing him. As OP will be able to take down the Jug in return. So a 2-for-1 trade this time. IG coming out on top. They bring the full team down to the bottom lane, and they'll look to try and get tier 1 out of this as well.
Yeah. It's a big catch-up kill for SF in theory. He doesn't actually get the last hit, unfortunately. Split 3 ways. Would have been like 600 gold for the SF if he got the last hit, but even so, he still gets like, I think he got solo XP for it, and then like 250 gold. It's still decent nonetheless. Bottom tower going to be claimed. SF probably looking, nope, not going to get the last hit. Burning's there, so he'll take it. He's nice and timed. He's actually going to find dogfights here. Dogfights.
Yeah, they hit him with a scan behind the tower. Yeah, they didn't quite have the control.
Still caught.
If it's good silence, trying to slow down Borax, and he tries to go for the Boulder Smash as well, but it's not going to be there before the Magic Missile. The swap back as well, and a raise from OP. Again, that little bit of bonus cold as well after that push.
Pressure further. Centaur's been found at top by a Rubik, but it's just a Rubik. There's a Jug in the neighborhood, but without an Omni Slash. I don't know if they've got the damage to kill him. The Hood's pretty good against the Blade Fury to at least negate quite a bit of that damage, and Already IG making their move off of this bottom lane. They'll leave Burning down there just to continue farming, probably even solo pressuring this lane. But they want to start pressuring like mid and some elsewhere and just farming out their jungle. They want to just play the farming efficiency game for now, considering that they were behind after the laning stage.
Oh, see it burning. He's found Paparazzi, and in fact, under the cover of the root, gets him down really low. It didn't have detection on this lone druid, of course, so Paparazzi will be able to walk off with the Ghost Wart. Double edge stolen by Super, not necessarily the best of skills to get on the Rubik.
We also know defending now is going to be difficult. You get that Invoker down to critical HP. He's kind of taken out of the picture for at least 30 seconds or so. He's actually still showing in this mid lane, but with just 200 mana, he doesn't really pose a big threat outside of a single Sunstrike to aid his team, perhaps. So we'll see what IG look to do using this knowledge. It does seem like they're more intent on farming than forcing any objectives right now. Centaur, no Blink Dagger just yet still, so he's kind of just sitting at that top lane trying to complete that after going for the Hood first. And I think things will slow down for the IG side until they've got that Blink, which they can start using to maybe set up some smoke rotations.
I'll see if IGV can catch IG during this bit of time, as you said, where they want to be playing the farming game. At the moment, it looks like they'll be alright. Burning Q and Borak sticking together down by the South Shrine. And IGV just with their eyes on middle as they'll come out, reveal themselves, look to take a tier 1. IG are coming across. They do have the level 4 Tombstone. They've got good defensive mechanisms. And already IGV just being a little timid with how they go about this one.
They may hunt the Centaur. It's a bit of a isolated spot here, although not enough enemy heroes really punish him.
I'll take that as tribute.
Sakata has got this Invis rune, and Omni Slash at the ready, who finds the lead. And in fact, yeah, High in a lot of trouble. Straight up with the Boulder Smash into the Omni. Sunstrike not even required, as the damage
he was
too
playing
much for this
super
jug.
greedy.
Yeah,
he'd been like farming alone in his own jungle. Normally you have to leave your jungle and go to the enemy jungle. At this stage of the game, once you lose your tier 1 tower in your safe lane, your jungle becomes a much more dangerous place to be. And he's playing in his jungle farming with no wards whatsoever. Like, I thought he was actually going to die like a good minute ago, so I feel like that was just a bit too greedy from Centaur. He should have fallen back and farmed safer places like around the towers. But still, he got away with it for a decent while and did get pretty close to his Blink Dagger, and will be able to respawn and probably finish that one in this top lane now.
RGV actually able to collect themselves another there as Venge came across the river. All too close for comfort, and after that bit of action, Shadowblade is ready on Sakata, so we'll see how effective this build is at the phase. And Shadowblade, as we mentioned, something that we're just not used to seeing on jugs at all. And,
SF's almost got his Shadowblade similar time. He's kind of recovered fairly decently, at least to be on par with like the safe laners, although Invoker's the real breadwinner. He's pulled away with the Midas, close to completing an Aghanim Scepter. He's full 1500 net worth ahead of Shadow Fiend right now.
Elsewhere, progress of burning as the Mithril Hammer. With the Blightstone, so is this going to be the Deso first on the Lone Druid? Is that what you imagine Burning's going to opt for this game?
I think it's the Maelstrom. He's got something on Courier. What's he got on Courier?
It is the Maelstrom, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It's just the casual Blightstone. You push buildings faster. We'll see where he goes next, but I think the next item is after the Maelstrom is normally a stat item to give you some more HP, maybe like an SMY, a Skadi, BKB type pickup. Dragonlance even is still always a possibility as well. Oh, they're smoked right on top of them. They cut their way through with the Quelling Blade.
Yep, straight away looking towards the Earth Spirit. Dogfights taken down by a Magic Missile. They'll get one. Sakata comes in, but he tries to Blade Fury away. It's not going to work with the amount of physical damage that they're pumping out. In Super comes, jumps with the stolen stomp, but it doesn't matter. But IG just take him out post-stun. So
such a good Quelling Blade through the trees to find the Earth Spirit. Really good play by Burning.
And now with that, IG in perfect position to take a tier 2 in this middle lane. They're going to be scared about it. I guess with the short respawns, they're coming back.
Yeah,
no, okay. They'll find a kill on the sidelines. Darkseer taken out immediately. Dogfights comes in with a beautiful Magnetize on all of them, as well as the silence. It isn't quite enough damage to bring them down.
Yeah.
But it will stop them from
reveals where the
pushing.
ward was. They kind of jumped the Darkseer when Darkseer's like Uniron Fog, but the ward now going to likely be known. The sentry gets plopped down. They just need some high ground vision and they'll be able to deward it. But that ward pays for itself. It secures an extra kill. It keeps them alive from a scary Darkseer initiation. Daxia was likely going to come in and set up a vacuum into Boulder Smash / Geomagnetic Grip Silence, and it would have been probably a lost fight for IG if not for the vision there. So good kill, even though they lose the ward, and they can look to just fall back, reset, go for another smoke gank soon once they maybe farm a couple of camps, like clear out your jungle, push out the side lanes a bit, and smoke up once again with that Sentinel Blink.
We've got the mech on in July as well for IGV, so I'll be able to deal with this kind of instant burst of IG as the Sentinel gets the jump in.
Undying though's found a mech of his own, like surprisingly farmed for an Undying. We'll see that flying out momentarily as well, so both teams will have the mech at their disposal. Looks like Sentinel will be going straight into the pipe as well for the team, so looking to help out against that magnetized damage you saw last fight. That got them all fairly low, so very useful against the magnetize. And then there's like Iron Shells, Fade Bolts, Invoker combos, so always going to be a good item to have for your team. And does suggest that IG want to be playing like a very team fight focused game right now. They don't want to avoid fights and farm, they want to fight into them.
Oh, high. He's been caught out before in his own jungle. It looks like he may do so again with IGV closing the gap with the smoke of the Shadow Blade on Cicada. But high gets swapped out. Borax saves the Centaur. Borax will pay with his life, but now IG looking to get kills in return, and they get the big one. They take down Jug, and with the Stampede, IG chasing down for more. IG Vitality trying to retreat. They'll turn around with a vacuum Boulder Smash. The wall being dropped as well onto OP. Here comes the combo from Paparazzi, the Tornado, Chaos Meteor, but the clap, the heal from the Undying, keeping OP alive. The Illusion's bringing him down low. Can OP survive? He can. He gets out, and again, Q just turning up in time with the mech, with the heal, and keeps that Shadow Fiend alive and makes sure that IG, they come out on top of that when it was Vitality looking for the action as they get the Juggernaut kill.
Yeah, Q's been a real hero this game with a lot of his plays, a lot of his saves, and they're no different. That swap save, though, perfect. They trade the Venge for the Jug, which is a fantastic trade to begin with. It was only when they chased further with the Stampede that they almost got punished, but ultimately IG get away with it, and that is a fantastic result for them. Another death to the Jug, and this Shadowblade build is definitely not working out at this point. Every single time he's used it, he's like kind of gone in, thought he had a kill, and then it's just backfired. Like he goes in, he's so squishy with it. Like he's sitting on 1,000 HP, he doesn't have like the Manta that you typically see for a bit of extra like survivability, extra stats even. His Shadowblade is just not cutting it. It
seems rare. I'd be interested to see, looking at Cicada's past games, if this is something that he does, or if it is just something that he's well, I wouldn't expect trying out, but obviously in his head there's a very situational and a reason why he wanted to get that. He obviously did have the very good start at the beginning, so maybe it's like, all right, we're ahead. If I get a Shadow Blade, it's going to make IG fall behind. They're going to have to get detection, start to bring that out. But, I mean, this is a game where there's an Invoker on his team as well. They're already expecting to have sentries just at the ready to deal with catching Paparazzi. And, I mean, he will soon have the Silver Edge. We'll see if that starts to change things up and allows them to, in situations like before where we saw him go on the Centaur, kill him before the Centaur gets saved at the beginning of the fights. And that could be huge, because of course taking Centaur out at the start of a 5v5 is brilliant if you can get rid of him before he gets the chance to Stampede.
Yeah, absolutely. And the upgrade to Silver Edge is really, I think, what he had in mind.
Yeah.
It's not like getting Shadowblade probably thought like, okay, this is maybe an item that'll get me a kill or two, but the Silver Edge is where you get all the bonus stats, so it becomes more like a Manta style in the sense like you get all the extra stats, and then you also get some added like utility from the damage mitigation. Like if you hit someone with a Silver Edge at the start of a fight, that hero has reduced damage output, and I think that's kind of what he had in mind in rushing this item, thinking his team, we're going to be team fighting a lot, and he can actually offer something with an upgraded Shadowblade and the Silver Edge effect.
BKB now complete for OP's SF. Burning. We'll see what the progress is for him. Dragonlart's Maelstrom. And now into the Roshan pit. Interesting here for IG. They waltzed in. There is this wall from Vitality. So Vitality, they're aware of what's going on. They're not making a beeline straight for it. In fact, the indication is just push the tier 2. I mean, is that do they just feel that they can't contest this? That's a little strange,
surprised.
isn't it? That they're just letting it go for free under their eyes.
No, they seem to think they can't contest this. Their team fight with Darkseer and Invoker, I would have wanted to contest. They found a pick-off though.
Yep, they take down the Centaur immediately.
At least something.
But look at this in response. IG are heading up. Is Cicada trying to TP out? Oh, he's not going to make it. The swap's there from Borax. And now the chase down. This little old juggernaut, he's got the silver edge, and it's going to save his life this time as he gets himself away into the cover of the Invis.
And Invoker TP bottom, they're pulling IG around pretty nicely, although Burning is going to be able to defend this tower without too much duress.
Well, Borax knows as well, but the vision is there for IGV. They'll take down the Venge.
Yeah, they're using that ward newly planted quite effectively there to kill the shrine TPing heroes. I believe IG thought it was just an Invoker there, but he had friends, he had company. So they get a couple of pickoffs, but it is still a strategic win for IG, who have an Aegis, who can use that to kind of 5-man a bit now, try and force some more towers. Lone Druid's about to hit level 15. This is where he gets that like permanent pseudo double, not quite double damage, but close to it. It boosts up his right-click damage by like 50% or something, so he gets a whole lot scarier now that he's level 15.
Cicada is queuing up for the Diffusal Blade next. So, all on this aggression. It's still going to be a fairly squishy Jug. We've seen already how much damage OP can do to him if he gets his hands on the Jug. So Cicada's going to have to be very careful about how he weaves in and out of these fights.
Yeah, nice against the Lone Druid. You can purge off that Rabid on his hero, so if you get him like after it's fairly freshly cast, he won't be able to recast it for quite some time. Can be fairly annoying. He does need to be a bit careful up top. SF is Invis nearby, but it does look like he doesn't want to go for anything by himself.
TPing from Burning to the mid lane. They do want to try and hold. They've lost the tower, but they still try and fight into this. Cicada is Invis. You can see IG make the first move onto the easier kill. They'll get the Rubik. At the same time, by the Shrine, OP is having some fun with Cicada. They pops the Shrine Hill. BKB's out as well. OP, can he survive this? It looks like he can. TP across will be there from Borax. Looking to chase on to Cicada. They've got the Blink, of course, ready in a few seconds on high, but with the surge from Injuly, Cicada will escape. Gets himself away, and of course, meanwhile, what we saw the tower being taken as the pressure continually gets put on by IGV as they just split it across the map.
They're playing into an Aegis, but they are just split pushing very effectively, keeping IG kind of, or they're trying to keep them split up, but IG is like, nah, we're just going to keep 5-manning for kills, and IGV's like, sweet, we'll take a top tower. Invoker even starts chipping at the tier 3, and all they lost is a Rubik there. They don't really care that they lost Rubik there. I think Rubik, considering everything else that happened while he died, is perfectly happy with that death. Didn't really lose all too much, so IG need to find a way to like force like a high ground push or a team fight now with this Aegis. They've only got 2 minutes left. It feels like they've not been able to do much at all with it. Right now it's probably their best chance. Top lane, not a great spot, but at least it's not at their tier 3 tower anymore, so they should be able to at least get this tier 2 at bottom. But doesn't look like they'll be able to force high ground. 4 Radiant heroes already converging towards that top lane. IG actually going to have to back off fairly soon.
OP's still going to have a good duration of the DD rune to fight with up on the top, so Vitality almost certainly don't want to stick around, and indeed they won't. As soon as the first few TPs come in, IG Vitality back off. Cicada looking to finish off the Diffusal before that next engagement, and Paparazzi has, is that the, has he got the recipe for it? Yes, no, yes he has. So he's got the Lincoln Sphere now complete on this Invoker. So he's going to be a little bit trickier for IG to control and bring down in these fights. And already
can't
we can
swap
see,
him in.
Yeah, he's been having a very solid game, Paparazzi, at the very top of the net worth, 216. And as we mentioned in the draft, the combo is certainly going to be there. We could see one fight where Darkseer and Earth Spirit really hit it off, and Paparazzi just comes in and cleans up.
Yeah. Do you feel like IG are going to be reaching a pretty scary power spike soon? The Lone Druid going to be looking at that level 20 talent, the SF's level 20 talent, perhaps even scarier with the +2 damage per soul. And then just a few new item pickups, the Aghanim Scepter on Centaur being probably the big one, the damage block coming out from the Stampede. The second you see that Invoker combo coming out, you pop the Stampede. You may not even, you may be saving the Stampede more for the Invoker combo than actually initiating once you have the Aghanim Scepter. So smoke down bottom. They're likely going to catch at least someone here. They even scan. They see dog fights.
I know he's hiding.
Not the hero they were hoping for.
Yeah, they're going to actually surge towards the eastern. Paparazzi, gets out just in time high. I believe it was just slightly out of range with that Hoostomp. That looked very
and
close.
The Savage Roar too. Both were just off by maybe like 50 range. I love that Paparazzi didn't even go for the TP like back to safety. He TP'd mid. Like, he wanted to instantly pressure a lane upon surviving that, so he TP'd mid, forces rotations there. The top lane's being pressured as well, so IG, after the failed smoke gank, have to go back and deal with the lane equilibrium, which is okay for them. Again, they're kind of approaching a power spike with Centaur about to complete an Ag Scepter, SF going to hit his level 20 talent. Lone Druid's still a bit of a ways from his level 21, and also just not like really a power spike. It's definitely nice to have the -40 respawn time, but it's not like you don't get stronger with it. You just have more uptime.
I mean, oh, look at this guy. What's up with the Chinese and their Shadow Blades? Burning. He's picked up one on the Lone Druid.
What? Okay.
That I don't know what I'm more surprised about the Jug Shadow Blade rush or Burning picking up the Shadow Blade kind of halfway through his build.
Yeah, I'd say I'm more surprised by the Lone Druid personally. That's definitely odd. But hey, it's like if a hero like Jug finds him by himself, like you can just Shadow Blade out of the Omni Slash, but Jug is going to have Dust now, like he's already got one on himself for the SF. Just means Jug has to always have detection for himself if he wants to be going for those solo kills on carries.
Very interesting indeed. I mean, I guess even the Silver Age, there's not really a huge reason to have that this game against any of Vitality's heroes.
Probably not, yeah. I mean, you could maybe try and just put on the Invoker to negate his damage output, but you're not looking to break anything crazy this game.
We'll see if a fight kicks off down bottom. IGV are smoked up, and we'll see if they can get the wraparound.
Centaur has an Ags though this fight, and the gem, so
they've got to disable
you engage
him.
on someone other than Centaur, that damage block is very likely going to save them.
They need to catch him. They will see him there, so I'm sure they are aware that the Ags is complete. And they know that
I believe
that's the target.
I mean, they've probably seen him farming and working towards it for some time as well. He'll show himself mid likely now as well, and he's got the gem, so he'll be able to see any of those Shadow Blading heroes moving around the map. SF completed Butterfly now, so that gives him a lot of extra damage output coming in these fights.
Yeah, MKB of course not anywhere soon on the item list for Cicada. He himself is going to be working towards a Butterfly as well. And top lane, IG. Can they catch out Paparazzi here? Pushing out the lane, Burning. Coming around with his Shadow Blade Lone Druid, but Paparazzi's already into the trees. Playing it very safe. And he should be A-okay there as he gets himself away.
Oh, he's going to be cheeky and even go for like another wave or two. No, he's not going to go for that. I thought he
He's thinking about it.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
He's going to meteor it.
There we go. Away pretty much gone as he heads across.
The whole thing.
And yeah, totally gets away with it. Now he's in position in the middle lane to maybe try and put a bit of pressure on tier 2.
Yeah, great split push Dota. He's been so elusive. He's moved around the map so incredibly well. Only died once the entire game. And he's top net worth. He's farming a ton, but he's farming in the most aggressive, dangerous positions possible.
He's not sitting in the jungle.
Yeah. He's been very impactful in this game, and I'd say really, like, I think IGV would be out of this game almost, if not for some of his great pressure that he's putting on.
Oh, as we talk about him, a bit of the Caster's Curse coming into position with Paparazzi's found. The Dust will get him. They'll swap him back, and I think we jinxed him, gods.
Yeah, we tried our best.
Literally the classic there, as he gets caught out by a full side of IG. And now they'll be ready to storm that mid. The question is, can they force out a buyback from this Invoker? I mean, he's down for a full minute.
Yeah, it's with the Lone Druid, SF with the Butterfly, they push very, very fast. SF with that +2 damage per soul talent now hits for like 400 damage. That's with the Vengeance as well, so max out Vengeance already giving everyone bonus damage. Burning right clicks hard, SF right clicks hard. They're just going to stick Burning on the tower for now, but I think they could even consider putting the SF forward. They're just worried about if these two heroes get vacuumed together, that's when they're in trouble. So
for sure, yeah.
At least keep them somewhat
And there we go, there's the vacuum combo, but immediately High comes in with the response, 2-man Who Stomp, and they'll take down the Earthspreader immediately. There's the buyback coming out from Paparazzi, and that will force IG to back up.
Yep.
But IG, they'll be happy with forcing that buyback out from the Invoker.
Yeah, they force it out while getting an extra kill,
yeah,
while doing some good tier 3 damage, below half HP. They should be able to get that fairly soon if they want.
I'm looking at Burning as well. He's got 3.2k. I'm interested to see where he goes next for this build. And he's just queued it up. He's going to go for the more defensive option next as BKB will be the next point of call, and understandable as well when we've seen the potential of this combo coming out from IGV. If he gets caught in the Darkseer, Earth Spirit, Invoker combination, anyone's really in trouble.
Yeah, SF will now upgrade to his own Silver Edge, so he gets his next kind of bit of boost. So not really like a major upgrade by any means, but just a bit of extra stats. A bit more uptime as well with the lower cooldown on the Silver Edge as well, enabling him to just use it more often. So see if they can keep finding this, because there really is a game for IG of just finding those pickoffs. They're constantly hunting on the map, using smokes, using Shadow Blades, and again they're near the IGV side. Darkseer likely to be caught, gets the blink away.
With the surge, it looks like he's going to be fine. They were searching.
They thought they had the Invoker too.
Yeah, but get Paparazzi. He's always a step ahead of them, apart from that one time in the mid lane. But other than that, as you mentioned, he always knows where to split, and he always knows when to get out of there.
Yeah, so he'll get himself back to safety, and has lost a bit of his net worth lead now. SF, Pa, Lone Druid, very even as well, but that's mostly a byproduct of towers going down, Roshans, and losing kind of control of the map. He's just being forced to always be split pushing like one lane, and SF Lone Druid have a lot more access to farm on the map available, so things are kind of hard for him to keep up with. But I think really, I mean, you can kind of see why they're getting these Shadow Blades now a bit more with the IG. Like with Burning getting one, because he feels it as a necessity to hunt down heroes like Invoker, to be able to Shadow Blade in, and then you can kind of initiate with a Savage Roar. It kind of sounds odd and stuff, but it is a pretty decent duration disable, even though it pushes them back to their base. It's a 2.4 second pseudo stun at least, where they're not using spells, they're not using items, so it can be a nice way to at least initiate as a Lone Druid.
IG just backing up. I mean, in terms of this game going late as well, is there a side you feel there's under more pressure as this game scales on?
Invisibility.
I mean, it kind of stay even on farm. I think I slightly center Ags scales so well. You can throw a refresher in there even.
Oh, mid lane, there's the jump immediately, but Borax is there with the swap. The BKB comes out from Burning. They've taken down two, and they're moving in for more. Jumping from high as he hits the two-man Who Stomp, brings down a third. And they're looking for a fourth as well. In July, can he get his way out of this one? Pops the mech. Heads out to the north, will survive. But again, we're just seeing at the moment that even with this wombo combo that Vitality have on paper, IG are just so quick to get the initiation. The Stampede just negating all of the damage that Vitality come out with. And now we're at a point where Paparazzi's down for 70 seconds. And despite his farm and his split push and his pressure, he's no use for the team for a full minute. And IG are going to rip the base apart.
Yeah, they'll get two full lanes. It's may not be the GG call, but it's kind of that point where it becomes close to kind of game over. Like, you're losing two lanes at this point against a very strong, scary late game team with Shadow Fiend, Lone Druid, Centaur is going to put you very far behind. They can go back. They even have 40 seconds to still take Roche if they want. So they can fall back, take Shrine, take Roche, and then worry about Invoker coming back to life. Invoker is approaching that level 25, but that's not really like a massive turnaround moment where you're saying like, alright, he's level 25, they can fight up, delay this game, fight Megas. Speaking of, I mean, fighting like Megas, or at least these like super creep waves, like they haven't got the best lineup for it. Darkseer, Iron Shell is okay. Jug would be okay with like a Maelstrom type build, but he doesn't have that, so very likely this Roche may just be the nail in the coffin. They're going to get there too late to contest it as well.
Actually trying to fight as well off the back of it. Stampede straight away. They've ripped apart the Earth Spirit. They'll take down Super as well. Injuly tries to come back in, but Burning just focuses him down, brings him out as well. The Jug, he tries to come in with an Omni Slash, but he doesn't have the damage to bring any of them down as IG take down a fourth member of IGV, and Vitality tap out. The OG boys on IG, the original side, will get the victory here in game one. And Shadowblade Jug, not the best win rate. It just felt like he didn't do much, Gods. He was underfarmed, ineffective in these fights.
Should have gone Battle Fury OD Pixel. Should have gone.
He should. I thought when he had the broadsword first, I was like, he's just playing. He's queued up because Battle Fury. That is something that Chinese teams do still like to do on the Jug, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, a build like that definitely could have worked, and probably worked better, because I think they were versing a team IG that was playing kind of a farm game, so just look to match him, get a Battle Fury and farm yourself. But went for the Shadowblade, went for trying to go for pickoffs, and every time he went for pickoffs, he died. He died to kill like a support. Or one time it was like one time it was a Venge, another time he can go like an Undying. So it wasn't really the best game from Sakata.
Oh, well, we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Vitality losing their first game here. Invictus Gaming, very strong showing. OP, after being punished 3 times, well, pretty much his only 3 deaths were those ones very early on. And then after that, he was just pretty much indestructible. Burning as well. They never really had a chance of looking to catch out Burning. He doesn't die at all. The Shadowblade BKB build, it worked out for him. He showed that Juggernaut when you should buy a Shadowblade on the position 1.
Yeah, yeah, I think he should. I mean, much more standard conventional hero, and I mean, Burning perhaps the unconventional. His Shadowblade, I don't think made too much of a difference or meant too much, but it was still kind of a fun pickup to see as he looked for some of those key pickoffs. But yeah, really good showing from IG. I think they are kind of the favorites coming in after IGV's rocky group stage, but they get a convincing win in the game 1.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, as you've been mentioning through the game, Q as well on his Undying. They must have had a lot of they must have felt good getting that through as the 5th pick, because I'd imagine before this they knew that Q could do something quite spectacular on this hero.
Yeah, I think for me at least, he's the MVP. I mean, I love watching like really good early game support play, but to do so in like an unexpected heroine way, like finding the first blood with an Undying, then rotating top, coming back mid, getting return kills, and helping save the Shadow Fiend on numerous occasions. He was kind of the big playmaker for me, even though he's playing like a hero you don't normally think of as being all too flashy.
Absolutely. But there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 goes to IG. Don't go anywhere. Thank you very much for joining us here on the Beyond the Summit coverage of the Chinese qualifiers for the Kiev Major. The winner of this series, of course, gets themselves that secure position. We'll be back with Game 2 right around the corner in a few minutes. We'll see you very shortly.
E-Gaming Bets, online betting for every esports fan.